Arhibau, sajam kulture građenja i održivog razvoja. Obiđite relevantne izlagače iz graditeljskog sektora te sudjelujte na konferenciji o izazovima oporavka i otpornosti. Arena Zagreb od 5. do 8. listopada. Više informacija na ArhiBau.hr.
Hello, we are joined today by Luca Fabris, the professor from the Politecnico di Milano. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
And as a part of the scientific conference in Archibau, you presented some of the newer events regarding to the urban planning of Milano.
Yes, because we are a little group of research, we are 3 people, and really the work that we presented here was just a kind of common work that we are bringing on that is about the analysis of what is happening in Milan and so on. This started because, as you can see, more or less, I got an age now, and really the think about what could be possible reusing derelict areas in Milan and so on is something that was born more than 25 years ago. So really, when I did my PhD, and to me it's surprising, but at the same time it's also fine to think and to see that in Milan there are a lot of realizations now that really linked with this kind of research of 25 years ago, because really when I was younger I was saying that there are all these spots that could be very, very useful to make a new kind of Milan with a lot of green, that we didn't need really to build up all these things and so on. It's fascinating because after 25 years, and really the other incredible thing is after the pandemic, that really there was a kind of super underline that these ideas were good, because on the other side is really that the population of Milan has started to ask more or less 10 years ago more green, and that is something very, very strange. I think that you know very well Italian, so really the people of Milan started to think about to pay more taxes. They wanted to pay more taxes to have more services. One of the services they wanted was to have
they wanted
green,
to invest in the community.
The community, but really just to have more spaces, livable spaces around the city. So really, at the end, the city has really understood that this would be very, very good, of course, for the policy, but at the same time also for the politicians. So really, the politician has embraced this. So it was a kind of virtuous game that they break out really to ask also to the real estate companies to really work always. Okay, building, make money, some way, because they have to do money.
Greenery also.
Yes, and also this that was really the plus to have the other thing. Then really, the coup of grace at the end was really the pandemic, that really in these 2 years with the lockdowns and so on that we have suffered, but I mean, from my creation in France in a different way, we were really super blocked.
Yeah.
We were really asking for at least a balcony, at least a terrace to have something like this. So really, this now all the new things in Milan, there is another boom about the buying of the houses and so on. But really, the new ones doesn't matter what is the classification for the lower energy, so in class A and so on. Because by law they have to be there and nearly zero emissions. But on the other side, it's just that the green is a request, and what is happening is really that the real estate company are moving with the target of the city was more or less just for each area to arrive to 40% built and 60% green. That this is just the revolution, because before was on the reverse or even more.
Unfortunately, both are very high percentages in many cities.
Yes, but really is something. So, I mean, putting together this, then a lot of good adventures, because really what we have shown today is just that there were a lot of things that I have to say that starting the pure academia was really not thinking that was so working well. One of these was the expo. There really was, or just this kind of moving just to create a new downtown, because my students, they call it the new downtown, so there are the towers and the things and so on. That really was a move that was only financial, but really at the end has created some places and also some parks. And so that has brought this idea.
So the Expo District could be called a successful experiment.
Yes, and what really was changing Milan in a way that was incredible, because we became really a tourist town. I mean, if you even see the movies of Italy of the 70s or the 60s, but really Milan was always with this idea to be the capital of the financial. It's still this. I mean, we have no more industry. We are just a center for research. We have discovered. I mean, now we have discovered that university. We have more than 5 universities altogether. They are the biggest industry that there is in Milan. But really, there are no plants. There are no industry areas, and so we are doing research. We are doing financial fields and so on. And we didn't consider Milan as a tourist town. After the Expo, has come out this kind of miracle, and now Milan is really in one of the cities in the list. It's really recently, but really is our fashion, because even now, I mean, we got tourists always, and also during the summer, it's quite amazing. The city is no more void. There are people and so on that is living, and sometimes also they come from the architecture for the art, because there is the art. There are 2,000 years of history in Milan, but really they were not so well known. Also because before really Milan was just a kind of lady that was there but didn't want to show herself. Roma is just another thing. Roma is always beautiful and she wants to be seen. Milan is just discovering now, and really with the modern architecture plus a lot of other bricks inside the city. So it's something that is evolving, because we got so many new. We got the city of Milan. Let's say we got there are a lot of new projects, towers, other things, and so on. By law, everything has to be really inside the screen, the frame of the sustainability and so on. So it would be very good architecture with good plans and a lot of features that we will see. Because the next step is the Olympic Games, the Winter Olympic Games, Milano Cortina, and this approach, bringing other, at least 4 great projects inside Milan.
So these are the projects which kind of help change parts of the city.
Yes, they change, and really they
so
are
centered around a singular event which can leave consequences for generations to come.
This is just.
But we're talking about a lot of new projects. What about the old? You mentioned the industry disappearing in Milan. That must leave a lot of brownfields, especially around the railroads.
Yes, no, this really the railroads for us they were another problem, because I mean more or less now they found their way. Well, this is really with the Olympic Games and so on, and now they became a kind of real estate company affair, because really the city is given as a kind of competition, and they are selling all these things together with the
selling completely or offering concessions?
No, selling completely. Really in bundle, because really all these things they are really owned by the Society of the Italian Railways. So it is one. For the industries, the other thing is just a little bit different, because really most part of them they've been solved in the last 20 years. So really, and most of them are really putting together new parks, because really this thing that we needed parks is a long time ago. For the rest, there are 2 or 3 big places that are still ongoing. One really is not Milan, but because Milan now has changed the asset, because it's the greater city of Milan, so we're discovering what was our province before. So there is the city of Sesto San Giovanni that is really investing in the Falk area that was an industry for steel and so on, and this one was big, because it was very, very big. It was really a kind of cancer in the middle of the city, and now seems that also that was solved. So really, at the moment it's just a fortunate phase, I don't know to say, but really it's just one by one seems that really just like I don't remember the name of the pillar, I don't know, the one that he put on. It's just a kind of rebound, but really is a good rebound, because
ricochet.
Yes, because we have waited for a lot. We got the idea, the university was promoting a lot of things, sometimes really not listened. Now we have also an administration that is listening more of what is happening, what we are saying. Sometimes are also very old strategies or nothing new and so on. But on the other side, these things put together, they are really creating a great combination of things.
Yeah, it sounds really exciting that finally some projects are starting, which you 25 years ago thought were only
what we are saying is just that
visions.
Now in the last, really seems that Milan has arrived to be the first livable city, so it is something more or less we are arriving to the 62% of greenery inside the city. That is really a lot, but also the good thing is just that it's a greenery that is really livable, so you can go there and there is this. On the other side is really all the problems, because really there is also a part of all this movement that is really taken in account. So what is the problem for the affordable housing and the things. So there is also the social aspect that is on the other side, and the participation. Because I'm talking as an academic. I am an academic, but really it's something that all of us we know what it is. It's 40 years that we are talking. When I was a student, we started to think about this, but really.
But for many people, it's still an abstract idea.
But now really it's starting. And really, there are a lot of process. And during another time, there were more participated programs, and as a result, during these 2 years of pandemics, than in the rest of the time that we got in Milan. So really something that is really transformed with the pressure of the people in public spaces that were proved during the few times that you can be outside your home and so on. So they were just stressed, and now they are arriving to be real projects to be done and to be maintained. So it's just the city is a lot changing. So
we'll see.
No, it's something interesting. That's why just listening to the students. That Politecnico now is becoming very, very international, but really they are very, very happy to be in Milan. So it's just for a lot of things. So really it's not because there were just the discos or just some services and the theater. So now it's really that is the city that is a kind of tech that is really something to be sold so the people and appreciated on the other side. So a lot of things that have changed in a very short time, because at the end, really, for a city, the last 15 years are very.
Well, let us hope that some of these positive trends will continue and that it's not just a fluke, so to say.
Yes, no. Yes, this is always the terrible, the fear that all of us got. But really, I think that there is something that is a little bit more concrete, and in this, and on the other side is just that. The people, so the inhabitants, so the ones that got the power, because at the end, when they got to vote, they got the power, and so really they've understood what they can do all together for a good thing, and on the other side also they really want these things. So these are two things that are so that came out at us, because what I was saying here was my colleagues and really also the professionals were saying that sometimes it's not so easy to do the participation. Now in Milan, the people know that they can participate and they want to participate, and so it's something we don't have the problem to say, oh my God, the law asks for the participation, and maybe where are the people that have to be here? They arrive. So this is something good.
So let us hope that more and more cities will become more participatory in time. So I would like to thank you for sharing some of these topics, and good luck in continuing to make Milan more livable.
Yes, of course. So thank you so much also to call me here, and it was really a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
ArhiBau, sajam kulture građenja i održivog razvoja. Obiđite relevantne izlagače iz graditeljskog sektora te sudjelujte na konferenciji o izazovima oporavka i otpornosti. Arena Zagreb od 5. do 8. listopada. Više informacija na ArhiBau.hr.